In this part of the module, we're going to look at what to do when children are having arguments with each other. We're going to look at what happens when children maybe both want to sit down in the same space or they both want the same toy. These kinds of conflicts or arguments are very, very common with young children. They're very egocentric, they want things, they do grab things. And it's really a challenge sometimes as an adult to know what to do. Very often when we come across two children pulling on a toy, saying it's mine, I had it first, we didn't see the whole situation, we don't know who had the toy first, and both the children believe they had the toy first. It's really hard. And I know for me as a young teacher, I would put a lot of time, of energy, of talking it gently through with the children and trying to persuade them to take turns, and it never felt really satisfying. So I'm really excited to share with you 6 problem-solving steps that for me have made a real difference to how I approach children when they're having arguments or having conflicts with each other over toys. So again, what we've got to think about is how are we going to deal with these situations in a way that also helps us develop the characteristics that we want young children to develop. So we want young children to have a voice, we want young children to be able to stand up for their rights, to be assertive, we want them to be peaceful, we want them to be able to build relationships. So can we, when two children are arguing over a toy, deal with that in a way that we're creating those characteristics for children, or creating an environment where those characteristics can be developed? So that's the challenge for us. So again, it's really useful to think about, can we put things in place to prevent arguments and conflicts happening in the first place? So most people would say that once they've got an active learning classroom with plenty of materials, particularly popular materials, when they have a daily routine that's consistent with a lot of variety in it, and children are really interested and engaged, the number of conflicts in their classroom really reduce. So that's a really important thing to look at. How do we actually minimise conflicts? So if you've got lots of prevention things in place, that would help. It really helps if adults and children have a kind of shared understanding and a shared partnership. That really reduces conflicts too. So what I'd like you to do is imagine that two children are pulling on a stick that's in your classroom, and they're both saying, it's mine, I had it first, I want it. I'd like you to think about all the possible options that the adult has. What are all the different ways the adult could handle this situation? I wonder what you thought about. Maybe you thought the adult said nobody could have the toy and she took it away. Maybe she shouted at the children. Maybe she talked with the children and asked them to share it and to play nicely. Maybe she just ignored the children altogether. So there's different approaches that adults can take to this problem. And what I want to look at is just how these different styles of trying to resolve the problem affect the children and what happens. So as we go through the different styles of problem solving together, I'd like you to answer these questions for yourself. What are the children learning when the adult solves the problem this way? What are they learning about themselves? What are they learning about the adult? What are they learning about problems? What will they do tomorrow? So just bear those things in mind as you watch.
I want it, I want it.
I want it. It's my stick.
But it's
I want
mine.
it.
I had it
Right,
first.
stop it. Both of you, stop arguing right now. Give me the stick. Let go, and you let go. None of you are having the stick. I'm taking it away. So what do you think the children learnt when the adult dealt with the conflict in that style? We kind of call that the tornado style. The adult comes whirling in and takes over. What do you think children learn when adults do that? So if we think about how that conflict was dealt with, and we call that the tornado style, where the teacher just comes whirling in and shouts really loudly at the children and is very authoritarian. Let's ask these two children what that was like. So what was that like for you when the teacher came and took the stick away?
It was scary.
It was scary for you. Yeah, and I felt really angry because I just wanted the stick.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so we both just wanted the stick, and suddenly we were being shouted at, weren't we?
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was nasty. What do you think about that teacher?
She's not very nice.
No.
She's scary.
She's scary. I don't like her, do you?
No.
What will you do tomorrow if you want the stick?
I don't want to go near the stick tomorrow.
So you've got so scared you don't want to go near the sticks again?
No, I'm not going to go near them.
Well, I've learned that tomorrow if I want to play with the stick, I'm going to go and hide it away somewhere so I can use it, because I don't want the teacher shouting at me again. If you think about those characteristics that we wanted children to develop, we didn't want children to be fearful. We didn't want them to learn to be sneaky and do things so that they can play with things out of the teacher's eye. We didn't want them to do things because they felt scared. So this tornado approach, although it kind of can appear that the conflict's over and it's sorted, it isn't really, and children haven't been left with useful life skills that will help them solve problems in the future. So we're sort of saying that although that tornado approach kind of appears that the problem's sorted, it isn't really, and it hasn't really taken care of children's hearts and children's needs and wants. So we need to find another style.
I want the stick.
No, I want the stick.
In my stick. I had it first.
I want the stick. I want it.
I had it first, so it's mine.
Oh, those children are arguing again. I'm just going to leave them to get on with it. Oh, really, they're always arguing. It's mine.
It's mine.
It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Oh. So the ice cube approach, where teachers just sometimes ignore conflicts and leave children to sort it out. And I don't know if what you noticed, the conflict just escalated, didn't it? How did that feel like to be in the conflict for you?
I felt angry.
Yeah, I got just more and more and more angry.
Yeah. I wanted the stick and nobody was helping me get the stick.
No, so children are just really left to their own devices. They're not getting any help, they're not getting any support, and the strongest child will win. And over time, this strong child is going to win every time. And that's going to go with this child into the future unless adults intervene and help the children learn another way. So they've learned that teachers aren't going to help them, teachers aren't going to support them, and they're really left to their own devices. So we need a different way. So another style of dealing with conflicts is the spanner approach, or the fix-it approach, where the adult comes along and tries to solve the problem for the children. I used to be an expert at this. I think I was really good at trying to negotiate with children and work out who might give in and who might agree to work with me. So let's have a look at what this looks like, and again think about what children are learning when adults use this approach, and does it fit with those characteristics like independence and empathy and having a voice and building peaceful relationships that you wanted children to develop. Okay, so here are our two children pulling on the stick again.
I want the stick, it's my stick!
I want the stick too.
Stick.
I want it. I want it. Oh look, Marianne, look. Look, just shh, it's okay. I want it.
It's my stick.
I want it. Look, I've got an idea. Why don't I take the stick? Look, it's a very long stick and I could break it in half and you can have half each.
No!
Oh, look, it's okay. Well, tell you what, then let him have it and we'll go and play with the sand, okay?
I want to play
Yeah, I
with the
know, but let's
stick.
go and play with the sand
want to
together.
play
Let's
with
go and
the
play with the
It's
sand.
the
Come on.
stick.
I know, but the
It's
sand's
the
lovely.
stick.
Look at the lovely
It's the
sand.
stick.
Look at the lovely sand.
That's
Oh, that's nice,
stick.
isn't
I want
it?
to play with my
Oh,
stick.
look at the lovely
Oh,
sand.
that sand. Yeah,
Yes.
this is good, isn't it?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Lovely sand. So let's find out from the children what it was like having their problems sorted out by someone using that spanner, that sort of fix-it approach. What was that like for you, Marianne?
Well, I wanted to play with my stick, but then the sand was quite nice too.
So you didn't quite get what you wanted, but you did get to do something else nice and interesting.
Yeah, after a little while the sand was quite good.
And I got the stick and I got to play with it all by myself, which is what I wanted. The problem is with this approach is that sometimes the teacher can end up trying to kind of persuade a child to do something that they didn't really want to do, which isn't really helping them meet their needs and their wants. Marianne very clearly wanted the stick, and here she is being persuaded by the teacher that, oh, the sand's really nice and you'll like that. So that's a sort of distracting approach. And the other thing that happens is children get dependent on the adult to come along and solve their problems for them, which actually isn't giving them those lifelong learning skills. There's a very good chance they're going to be dealing with a lot of problems at different stages of their life, right into their elderly years. So why don't we start now when they're really young, giving them some skills to solve the problems that they have with each other, and find a way that both children can meet their needs that hopefully everybody is comfortable with. So we're really looking for an approach that we can use when we go to children who are having arguments and disputes with each other, that's going to help us develop the characteristics that we want them to develop. And there is a way to do this, and the approach that the adult needs to take is being a coach. So really supporting the children and really listening to what they want and need and giving them a voice. Often people say in schools they want children to have a voice. Well, the children had no voice with the ice approach or the tornado approach, and not even really with the spanner fix-it approach did the children really get to speak. And in this approach you'll notice how the adult actually supports the children to solve the conflict. So let's have a go with the coach approach, and again observe what's going on, think about what the children are learning, and particularly notice what you see the adult doll doing.
It's my stick, I want the stick.
I want it, it's mine.
I had it first.
I want it, I want
I had it
it.
first.
I want the stick. Oh, I can hear there's a lot of shouting and I can hear two angry children.
Yes,
I'm
this is
gonna-
my stick.
So you're saying it's your stick. It's mine, and you're saying it's your stick. It sounds like you both really want it. I'm going to hold the stick. I'd like you both to let go, and I'll hold it while we talk about the problem. Hassan, I'm going to hold the stick while we talk about the problem. You will get a turn, but we need to talk about it first. But I want it. I know you want it. And you will get to have a turn once we've talked about it. Now, I heard a lot of shouting.
Yeah, but she took my stick.
So you were playing with the stick and you really want it.
Yeah, but I had it first.
And so you're saying you had it first and you
Yes.
really, really want this
And
stick.
you took it from me.
And so the stick got taken. But I really, really want the stick. I wanted the stick and I had it first.
No, you didn't.
Oh, so it sounds like you're feeling frustrated and angry and you're saying you had the stick. And Hassan, you're feeling frustrated and angry and you're saying you had the stick. Yes. So it sounds like both of you really, really want this stick.
Yes.
Yeah, so you really want it,
I want
Mariam.
the stick.
You want the stick, Mariam. Yeah. And I want it. And you really want it, Hassan, too. So we've got a problem because you both want this stick. What can we do to solve the problem, do you think?
Give me the stick.
So your idea is that you get given the stick, Mariam.
Yes.
Shall we ask Hassan and see what he thinks about that idea?
No, because it's my stick and he doesn't get a say.
So you're really, really angry, Mariam, and you really, really want this stick.
Yeah.
You do, you really want it. So we've got to talk about it together and see how we can solve the problem, okay? Because Hassan wants the stick as well. So that's the problem. So Hassan, you want the stick. I do. And Mariam, you really want the stick as well.
Yeah.
So what can we do if you both want this stick? Has anyone got any ideas?
We can snap the stick.
We could break the stick.
Yeah, and we could have half each.
So your idea is we break the stick and you have half each. I don't want the stick to be broken. So Hassan doesn't like that idea. He wants that stick to stay not broken. So we need to think of another idea. I know. Mariam could have this stick from the stick box. She could play with this stick. Well, Mariam, we can ask her. She might say yes and she might say no. We're going to ask her. Mariam, what do you think? Hassan's suggesting you could have this stick. What do you think?
But I want that stick. It's got a good colour.
Ah, so this stick is the colour that you want.
Yes, for my toy that I'm building.
So you really want like a light brown stick for the toy you're building.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's anywhere where there is a light brown stick.
There's one over here, look.
Ah, there's
That
one in the stick box in the toy area.
Yeah.
So Mariam, what would happen to this stick, do you think?
I think that he can have it.
You think Hassan could have it?
Yeah, I think that would be alright for Hassan to use that stick.
Well, do you want this stick as well?
No, thank you.
No, I'll put that one back. Well, so Hassan, you're okay for Hassan to have this light coloured stick and you're going to have that light stick?
Yeah.
Yeah? So are you okay about that solution, Hassan? Yes? And what do you think to the solution, Mariam?
Yes, it's good.
Yes? So you two have done it. You've solved your problem. You've talked about what you both wanted and you've solved the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. Do you want my big stick for your toy as well?
Yeah, if you want.
Can I play with it as well?
I think that would be okay.
Shall we play together?
Yeah.
Come on then. What did you notice about what the adult did when she was using that coach approach? And what effect do you think it had on the children? What have they learned about themselves, about each other, about the teacher? And what have they learned about problems? Let's talk to the children. Marianne and Hassan, what have you learnt about solving problems?
We need to talk about it.
So you've learnt that if you talk about it, what happens if you talk about
The
problems?
problem gets solved.
So you've learnt you can solve problems. Yeah, what did you think to that whole problem solving process and the steps?
I felt quite listened to.
You felt listened to?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I did as well. I got to say what I wanted because I wanted the stick, and actually then I realised she wanted the stick.
Yeah, we both wanted the same
Yeah.
stick.
Yeah, we did. We both wanted the same stick. And we tried different ideas, and it took a little while to find one that we both liked, didn't it?
Yeah, a little while. We had to think of a few of each, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And what do you think about the teacher?
She was quite nice.
Yeah, I like the teacher. She was very kind and she didn't get cross, did she?
No, she stayed very calm, which was good.
Yeah, she did stay calm and she wasn't shouting like the tornado teacher.
No, she was listening to us and speaking calmly.
Yeah, she did listen to us and speak calmly. And tomorrow I would like to build that toy with you again.
Yeah, shall we build the same big tower?
Yes, let's.
Right then.
Okay. So listening to those children, they have learnt some new skills for tomorrow, and the relationship's been built between them, and it's been a connecting relationship rather than the other approaches where the children were separated. And very often you'll find this, that as the children solve the problem, they often, not always, but often start playing together, and a whole new level of cooperative play has been reached. You probably noticed that approach took a little bit more time than the ice approach and the tornado approach and even the fix-it approach. However, what we're doing is giving children skills for the long term. So although we went through all of the problem solving steps, guess what happens over time as you use these steps when you can, each time there's a problem in the classroom. Children actually start using these steps for themselves, and the process doesn't take so long. And actually, as you get more skilled with it, the process doesn't take so long. Some problems are more complicated, but it's just a question often teachers find when they're new to this of sticking with it, keep practicing, keep repeating what the children were saying. I don't know if you noticed what the teacher doll did. She was very, very calm, and that's really important if you're going to use this approach. So that's the first step, just to approach calmly. What you can do to help yourself keep calm is just to breathe deeply and to tell yourself that perhaps you don't know how this problem's going to work out, but the problem solving steps are going to help as a guide to talk you through it. I don't know if you noticed how the teacher got down at the children's level. Why do you think that would be important? What's the difference if the adult's down on the children's level as opposed to standing up? Of course, you know, she's more of an equal, the children aren't so intimidated by the adult's height, and she's actually saying, look, I've got time, we're going to talk this through together, it's okay. It's okay to have a problem. That's sort of the message her body language is giving. The other thing she did that was really important was to acknowledge the children's feelings. Do you remember we did that module on children's feelings? Imagine if she tries to talk about the problem and sort it out without listening to that big emotion. So you will have noticed a few times, because particularly Marianne was still really upset, she needed her feelings acknowledged before she calmed down. And I don't know if you will have noticed that when she'd calmed down, that thinking part of the brain is then able to work again, and then the children are able to come up with solutions to their problems. So the first step is to approach calmly and to also neutralise the object. Did you see how the teacher said, I'm going to hold the object? That's really important, otherwise the children will keep pulling on the object. So she says, I'm going to hold it. She acknowledges both child's feelings. She gathers information and asks what the problem is, what do you want, what do you need. Did you notice how the teacher didn't ask any why questions? She didn't say, why did you take it? Because children would find that a really difficult question to answer, and nor did she get hooked into the who had it first. Because the children in the developmental stage are at, they will both believe they had it first. So just to repeat, yeah, you're saying you had it first and you're saying you had it first, so you both think you had it first and you both want the stick. That just works to help move the problem on. And then once she'd sort of gathered the information, she restated the problem, which was, the problem is you both want the stick. And then she asked the children, what can we do about that? And she was quiet. And she waited for the children to come up with their own ideas for their problem. And did you notice how she checked in with each child to see if they were both happy with the solution, and kept going till they both agreed on the solution? And once that bit had gone through, it was just a question of saying, you know, you've done it, you've solved the problem, you've talked about it. So those are the 6 steps, and there's language that kind of goes with each of the steps that's useful to know when you're beginning problem solving.